Hello there, welcome to another episode of Campr, coming to you from central Queensland. This is IRB's brand new store in Rockhampton, and over the course of the last year, we've been on some great ARB trips. We've done the Simpson Desert, we've done Fraser Island. This time, together with Roger and Roger's mate Walter, we're off to somewhere real special.
We are, Dino. It's actually known as the Jewel in the central Queensland coast.
Fantastic. Stanage Bay. Not a lot of people have been there. It's well off the beaten track, isn't it?
Oh, it's a good 100 kilometres off the beaten track. It's a gravel road, so we're a little bit worried about the condition of the road, so we might get inside and grab a few last things.
I'd suggest that's a good idea. We'll go and pick up a few supplies and catch up with you down the track. Look at this! Well, the newest addition to the Rockhampton streetscape is not another bull statue, but in fact the brand new IRB store on Gladstone Road, just a block or two down from the old one. ARB clearly see Rockhampton as an area for expansion with this state-of-the-art purpose-built facility. Out back is a workshop you could eat from the floor of, and the team here are pumped to finally have the doors open and be welcoming customers in. So big trip coming up for us. We're off to Stanage Bay, and the first thing that you do when you were heading there, if you're coming from where I've come from, Jack, is you'd pop in here and see you at the ARB store.
Definitely, mate. You have to pop in on your way to Stanage. Yeah. Can't miss us.
For those people that want to know, it's between the first bull and the second bull on Gladstone Road. Mate, this is a brand new facility. Tell us a bit about it.
So we've been here for 5 weeks or so now.
Yep.
New premises, bigger workshop, bigger showroom. Got all our latest and greatest stuff. It's looking excellent. Bit of something for Rocky, I suppose, and everyone's loving it so far.
Heading to Stanage with Roger. What advice can you give me? Take my appetite. The mud crabs are pretty big up there, aren't
they? Oh, mate, mud crabs will be the go up there. Plenty of fishing up there, but yeah, crabs you should be on for sure up there at this time of year.
While Jack and I have been talking, Roger's done a few laps of the place. Given where we're about to head, he's picked up a couple of things that might come in handy for the journey. With the cars fueled and the van loaded, we roll out of ARB pointing north.
Right, traffic's good, we're going.
Headed for an almost mythical world where it said 3 kilogram muddies climb into your boat, and that Spanish, Barra, Jackson, coral trout that are landed are so thick you could walk on water across their backs. That's right, we're off to Stanage Bay.
Well, as they say, this is living. We've got 104 kilometres an hour indicated. Our Safari RMAX computer system is running the engine or in tow mode, and we're doing 15.8 litres to the 100 kilometres, which to me is pretty exceptional. Big marble sea breeze back there is just tracking perfectly, and at the moment the road is pretty good, but we've been through some really rough patches, and what surprised me is how well that caravan tows and how well the old man Emu suspension and the BP51s just soak up the bumps.
Stanage Bay's isolation, its sheer remoteness, has been its saviour. 70 odd k's up the Bruce Highway before you get to Marlborough is the blink and you'll miss it turn off to Stanage Bay. They say that the road can be a bit rough once you get off the blacktop, but seriously, what is going on here? This is our national highway. What a disgrace. The Marlborough stretch, the infamous Marlborough stretch north of Rockhampton, which heads to Mackay, it's just known for a lot of accidents, and they don't spend enough money on it. It's terrible. But if you think this is bad, why don't we turn off to Stanage? Thankfully, a few kilometres later, we do turn right and prepare for the adventure ahead. Walter has done some serious prep work on the boat and has thrown us a nice hack. If you're doing any off-road driving towing your boat, it's a great idea to wrap your outboard up in Glad Wrap or similar to seal all the intakes and protect the motor.
Bit of preventive, look after it, and it'll look after you.
100 clicks of dusty, corrugated, bull dust riddled goat track, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
When you're out on a gravel road like this one, you know you're out in the bush, and that's where you find the wildlife. And one thing you need to be very aware of is never ever try and swerve around a wild animal on a gravel road, because that's when you end up off in the table grain, upside down, and all sorts of things like that. And if we're not going to swerve, we might have to hit an animal, and that is the single biggest reason to have a really good quality steel bull bar. So you can know for a fact that you can hit that animal and you're not going to damage the car, and more importantly, you're not going to ruin your holiday. So the idea is, particularly when you're towing a van, keep everything straight ahead, back off and gently get on the brakes, and cross your fingers that the animal gets out of the way.
As you'd be well aware, the National Highway hugs the coastline for the most part right around the country, with few exceptions. But for here, above the military's Shoalwater Bay.
This is our version of Area 51, Shoalwater Bay. We're running along the edge of, and this is a military facility that you're clearly not allowed into. There's let's say a live range in there and a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on that we wouldn't know about. It's all heavily fortified, heavily fenced. Of course, it goes for a fairly long way to the south. But we're above that.
This parcel of land stretches for about 100 kilometres and is mostly cattle country dotted with homesteads and outstations. The perfect spot to pull up and enjoy some corned beef and pickled sangers. About 50 k's down, the road becomes heavily corrugated, which means that our speed and our tyre pressures will have to come down.
One of the problems with a really nicely set up car, you don't feel the corrugations, you don't feel the bumps. But way back here in the caravan, all sorts of stuff can be happening. Cupboard doors could be falling open, crockery could be breaking, curtains falling off the walls. I've got no idea what's going on back here. So we've got into a fairly rough road now that's all corrugated, and what we're doing is letting our tyres down from sort of 40-ish down to 25. And it's not so much about underinflation, it's more looking at the bulge in the side of the tyre and deciding for yourself, yeah, there's still plenty of air in them, they're going to be okay, but it allows the sidewall of the tyre to become more elastic, and what that does is absorb all the bumps and rocks and things. The other thing, if they're soft, they're harder to put a hole in. So it's a bonus all round, and when you're on a road like this, I always let my tyres down.
Roger, as you would have noticed by now, has brought along this Sunseeker Marvel off-road van. With its high clearance and heavy-duty suspension, it's tackling the road to Stanage without any issues at all. 2 hours and 100 k's later, we roll into one of the prettiest seaside villages in central Queensland. The good news for us is that on the way into town, Walter's mate John has called and offered us his fishing lodge to stay in for a couple of days. And just take a look at it. I'm pinching myself at how nice this place is. The Stanage Bay Fishing Lodge accommodates a small army of fishermen. There are 4 bedrooms in the main house with multiple beds, and then head back outside to the man cave, complete with big screen, pool table and even more beds. Around the side is the dedicated filleting and fish preparation room. It's clear that they're pretty serious about their fishing up this way. I mean, just take a look at the trophy fish photos up on the wall.
But I enjoy the creature comforts in life, and you can certainly get them here at Stanage Bay Fishing Accommodation. They've got a website, a magnificent house with all of the things that you'd possibly need if you wanted to come here to wet a line. It's got a tremendous facility out the back for cleaning fish, lots and lots of beds, really, really comfortable accommodation, and clearly a fisherman or two has stayed here before. Take a look at some of these photos.
Yes, I could not have believed we were going to have it so good when we got here. Poor Roger, all on his own, in the van. Actually, what we should do is go and check him out.
I love this van. It's a 20'6" Marvel Seabreeze Sport, and everybody else loved it too, because 2018 it was Aussie Van's winner of the year, like the best van in Australia. So It's actually got a shower and a toilet and a washing machine in the back here, queen bed up the front, and ready for off-road with double coil suspension, independent, the whole lot. Towed like a dream, and you would have seen how rough that road was. Just loved it, soaked it all up. It's got me here. I can just sit here and enjoy that view.
Wowza! Trust Rog to have it well and truly sussed. Let me know if you've seen a better spot to pull up ever, will you? I think that's the beauty of places like Stanage Bay. There are still these rare gems, these unpolished diamonds, if you like, that you can find around the country, and people know where they are. It's just that people don't want to talk about them too much.
And they don't want to do that drive. Like if you've got $100,000 worth of caravan,
Yeah.
a lot of people wouldn't like to bring it in that road.
Yeah,
but,
that's right.
you know, we've let the tyres down. It's a good van, good suspension, independent suspension. And we've got the big 200 with all its suspension,
Yeah.
the old man emu stuff. So it's not a hard job.
So, things are looking pretty perfect, really. After a big day, it's time to kick back and just take it all in. The plan for tomorrow is to meet up with the IRB Rocky crew, who are going to drive in early after work, fuel the boats, pray to the weather gods for a wind drop, and hopefully we'll get to see some of Thirsty Sound and the massive fishing grounds that surround this paradise. That's all coming up in the next episode of Campr. IRB Rocky can give you the skinny on getting to Stanage and having your 4B ready for the trip. You can find out more about Sunseeker vans online, and Stanage Bay fishing accommodation is top-notch, and you'll find out more at their website.